think it was a bit. Apparently, it was a tugboat, a police boat came out to be like, "Hi, what are you doing?" It's like following the QE2. It's so fun, it's so silly. I love it, and that is what got her to like do a proper wave.
Really?
And that's the bit that they used in the finale. Yeah. I know, it's so fun. It's just like, what a great story.
I know, but you know, at the beginning it says, you know. No, I think I read something that Russell said where he was like, all these bonkers things did actually happen.
100%.
So I was watching it going, I'm pretty sure that did happen, but I do want to check. I loved it. The phone thing was my favourite thing.
It's such a good bit, isn't it?
Ringing.
That was my audition scene.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I thought, oh, this is brilliant.
Yeah.
This is so silly. Oh, I love it.
It's so good.
And I think they also did that as well. That
really?
That is a story. All these stories are from. I tell you this in an interview.
Yeah.
All these stories are Tony. They're all to Tony. This is most of the material that was used in the TV show is all from Tony Adams.
Amazing.
He's just this man of just relentless stories. He just sit there. He just tell you everything. It's
brilliant.
Amazing.
I'm just going to get you to shimmy to the left very slightly.
Yeah.
That's it. There you go.
Oh, it's so good. I really, really thoroughly enjoyed it.
I'm glad you. Yeah, I will say, because it's always that moment of like, what's the room like? How is everyone feeling? They're all smiling. Okay.
Yeah, it is weird, isn't it? When because I don't usually do that. I don't do it where I see it and then I go and talk to people straight away. But we have to do that in film festivals a lot because they're only showing the film for the first time, kind of thing. So you have to do it, and then you're good at that, aren't you? And then you run off to interview people.
Yes,
but I like to be able to think about it and write.
Yeah, like watch it for and then have a little muse on it. A little bit.
Yeah, because you don't want to give too much away.
Right.
But then you have to ask the obvious things because that's what people who haven't seen it will want to know about. And then anyway.
Totally.
So. First of all, Nolly herself, did you know anything about her?
I did not know who Noele Gordon was. I knew what Crossroads was, but only as sort of like a punchline to a joke. Do you know what I mean? Just like how bad British TV can be sometimes, just how cheap and tacky it can look. But I didn't really know about Noele Gordon, which is wild because I think she's a gay icon. You know, how does someone go from being the most famous woman in the world? I mean, she's the first talk show, first woman to interview the Prime Minister, first woman on colour TV ever in the entire world. How does someone going from being that culturally relevant and powerful to just forgotten by time? It's just so wild. So that was. I mean, I feel like I'm like so Team Nolly these days. I want everyone to know who she is. She needs. I'm glad that we're giving her the due she should have had before she died, you know.
God, she would love it, wouldn't she?
She would.
She'd be
so
would
proud.
absolutely love
She'd
it.
be so proud. She'd sort of sit there and, you know, let everyone come to her.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I could see that.
She wouldn't say anything, but she'd love it if you did.
Oh, she's brilliant. Honestly, I think this is great, and this will, you know, people will now know her. So you play Tony.
I do.
And a lot of the stories came from Tony. How much time did you spend hearing stories from Tony?
Tony Adams, the man of all the stories. He is such a special person. I got to interview him. I interviewed him twice, but they were about 2-hour interviews. And he's like in his late 80s, so you know, it's I didn't want to overburden him, but he's just the most magical, lovely, open-hearted. I mean, he's like from another era. It's sort of like he's got such an amazing life story, and it's like all of the stories in the show, they've all come from Tony Adams. It's like all of the kind of the backstage gossipy stuff from Crossroads. You know, all the kind of insights about Nolly. I mean, the way that she was portrayed when she was fired. She was like this terrible, you know, horrible woman who's really difficult to work with, really mean. And I think it was Tony, Russell was saying it. Once Russell interviewed Tony, he suddenly realised, oh, wait a minute, this story that we know about Noele Gordon is completely false. It's all lies. And that's how I think initially he was trying to write something but sort of like the gossip behind Crossroads. And he realised as he interviewed more and more people that Noele Gordon was just beloved by everyone that she worked with, everyone that she came into contact with. And, you know, Tony was her rock. They were they're in a platonic relationship, basically. They looked after her. He drove her to work every day. He cooked her dinner every night. He was essentially her chauffeur. She had this Rolls Royce, and he pretended to be her chauffeur throughout the day and sort of generally be her assistant. He's just this magical, fun, I'm so happy that people are going to get to see how wonderful this man is, because he was such a big part of TV history and he got completely forgotten, just like Nolly did.
I know, it's so weird.
They all did, it's so weird.
It is. I'm really glad that this is going to remind everybody. Now, in kind of modern day language, would you say that Nolly got cancelled or just sacked, you know?
In modern day language, I'd say she got Me Too'd. She got Me Too'd in the sense that she got taken down completely unfairly because of misogyny, I think, and because she was a powerful woman. And I think that made men very, very uncomfortable. You know, she was very outspoken, she was very authentic, she didn't hold any opinions back. And she was a team player. You know, I think what will resonate about this show for people is the sense of togetherness, the camaraderie, the sort of, it's about a group of people who are speaking truth to power. And, you know, it's like when the institutions and the people in power who are there, in theory, to protect you, actually are the ones who are betraying you. It's like you take solace and you find comfort and strength in your friends, in the people that you love. And I think the cast of Crossroads, what's so beautiful about the whole kind of myth of Crossroads is how much they all loved each other. I mean, they were shooting like 5 episodes a week. I mean, like shooting like 16-hour days every day. You can only imagine how sort of intertwined you would get. And I think it's one of the gifts of Russell's writing is you know, he lets you into these sort of subcultures that you would never know about, and the writing is so nuanced and so expansive and clever and so detailed. And I think Tony is like this central figure in that. He was this, by today's standards, very progressive person. I mean, he was a younger man who sort of was beloved and essentially in a relationship of sorts with this older woman. I mean, not a sexual relationship, but a deeply platonic, very loving. They were each other's companions. She always said that he was her soulmate, which I think is just, it's so unique, especially for that time. And in the 70s, that never happened, you know. So he's an inherently, though he's not gay, he's an inherently queer person by today's standards. And I think this sort of reframing of the Noele Gordon narrative and that history is going to resonate a lot today, I think.
Oh, I think everyone's going to love it. What did you think about Helena's portrayal?
I'll tell you, hanging out with Helena Bonham Carter for a summer is a good time. I mean, look, she's Helena Bonham Carter, she's HBC, baby. We had the most fun ever. She and I just clicked from day one. We did the read-through. And you know, we'd never met. And they had this big table. It was read-throughs. It's the first day. Everyone's a bit nervous. You know, you've got all the executives over there. You've got all the thing. You've got everyone. All the crew are here. It's the first time the cast have ever met. So it's just like you know, there's Russell T Davies. Who I didn't know at the time. So I was like, okay, it's got to go good. And I'm sitting opposite from the other side of the table. It's this big circle, and I look across, and I kind of wave, and she waves back at me, and she goes, "Why are you sitting over there?" And I'm like, "I don't know. Should I come sit next to you?" She's like, "Yeah, come sit next to me." So we come over there. And we just start talking and gossiping with each other, and then we start doing the read through. And she and I just have this instant chemistry. We just have so much fun immediately. We're sort of in each other's things. I'm sort of poking her on the nose and face and like writing notes on his scripts. It's like so fun and playful. And at the end, Russell comes up to us. T Davies comes up to us and says, "I didn't know you guys knew each other." I said, "We just met. We just love each other, don't we?" And then we ended up getting the train back down to London together. It's just like this instant chemistry. And it's just, I don't know, it's the whole cast. It was like a big family. We still have this text thread. It's got about 40 people on it. And it's still like, "How's it going?" You know, it's just, it was a magical summer. It was like one of my favorite things I've ever worked on. And Helena's such a big part of that.
I think you can tell as well.
It reads on the screen,
Yeah,
huh?
I think so, because obviously the characters you're playing had that kind of close and fun relationship. So I'm glad to hear that it was the same. But definitely the chemistry.
I mean, and she's so brilliant in it. She's so good, and I think she really. I got given a little sneak preview of it, and I watched it with my mum, and she went, "Wow, I'm not even watching Helena Bonham Carter. I'm watching Noele Gordon." I mean, it's such an incredible performance. It's like so. I mean, Helena does reams and reams and reams of research. She always carries all her books around, and she's got all these she carries this picnic hamper, like a Pim's picnic hamper, everywhere with her, and she's got like about 5 drinks on the go at any one time. She's got all her notes and pictures and things. And my thing is I have a folder, and it's got all my scripts and it's got my notes, and I cover it in pictures normally. And I think that's quite a lot of research to do. And then I see Helena, and Helena's got she's like carting around this library with her. I was like, okay, right, got it. That's how you do it. Understood. Yeah, she's very special.
What was your favourite? Are we out of time?
They're just
Okay, all right, no worries, thank you. I was just gonna, well, you can just tell me because
Go
I'm
on.
interested. What was your favourite fact that you learned
About
that the whole thing?
my favourite fact was okay. So my character has a moustache, and he was in Crossroads when it first started in the 60s, and he didn't rejoin again till the early 80s. And his moustache, which he had, which was like his trademark, was suggested to him by Noele Gordon in the 60s when he first did it, and he kept it his entire career. So when he came back round and they met up again for the first time, she was like, "Is that the same moustache I told you to get?" And he went, "Yes, it was.
Mm-hmm.
It was like meant to be."
Amazing. See, it was worth it. It was
a story.
That was worth it.
So it's all valid.
I can't turn my back on emails for a second.
What do you do when you're writing? Do you switch everything off for a bit?
No, I'll leave it on, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah. Keep it kind of like plate spinning, keep it all going at once.
Wow.
Yeah.
And does your brain never stop?
Yeah, I suppose not. I've been out of touch otherwise. I think.
Sorry for the delay.
It's okay. Is there an ETA?
ASAP. Any minute now.
Okay, cool. I'm very worried about that vase, Adam.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's wiggling.
Move it for you. For your brains. But,
Yeah.
might actually need to move this table as well, Russell. So if you might
Okay.
need to move this table.
Yeah.
Thanks. That make you feel better?
Yes. It was wobbling. It was right on the edge. I could see it going over.
Yeah. It's better for the light anyway.
Can we get a little tripod thing for that?
Yeah.
Do you know what? I think I might have one
the
somewhere.
fixing is not irregular, but there is. I have got an adapter somewhere. It's easy to bring out. Once there's an adapter, it took a while. Once Ben found it for me, bless him.
I'm pretty
Am I
sure.
in shot back here?
No, not at all. Miles away. Yes, that would be good, wouldn't it, as opposed to precariously.
Do you know what? I think I've got one that might fit.
Because it's not the same.
From a light that broke that I had at home.
I think I've got... there might even be one in the cupboard, actually. In the kit cupboard, with the silver attachment. I'll check it for next time.
I mean, it's perfectly usable like that, I just wondered.
But you know, I've only sort of really been using it since we got the new kit, because the new light, this new small light, is a lot more powerful than the old one we used to have. So it's actually really useful.
Yeah, it is.
And those batteries last a lot longer as well.
Did we nick everything of Ben's?
Yeah, I don't think you can't take it with him.
I think Steve might have already gone in there and nicked everything.
Oh, I see. Yeah, well, he kind of left anyway, didn't he? Because he went to Broadcast Services to...
Yeah, but he still had all his own stuff.
Yeah.
I know, yeah, exactly.
Come on, are we throwing your schedule in?
I mean, we're fine. I don't know what else you've got left.
We're about to come through. So.
Okay.
What's happened to our schedule, Ryan? Is it in tatters? Oh, has he gone? He's behind. Oh, wow, my managers.
How long did it take?
Well, from my first, I don't know how, like, from my first visa, my school 901, that's like a work visa. My first one was I was 18, and they lasted about 3 years.
Fine.
And then each time we run out of that.
Oh, so you got that for a while.
Yeah, so I did 4 of them.
Fine.
And then I did my, you can, I mean, the person I know did, I mean, different marriage.
Yeah, well that's it. I'm wondering for my boyfriend, like...
Oh, you get it within...
Well, he did it quick.
You get it 3 years.
Nice.
If he marries you,
But
you
do we
can't
have to
use
move
it.
there? Or like, what if we're still in England and I'm like, okay, fine, now.
You have to prove that you live there 6 months of the year.
Oh, really?
You have to base it at least 6 months of the year.
Most of my parents have 6
And
months.
have residence and proof residence.
Oh, gross. Fine.
And tax returns and proof that you work there.
Yeah.
It's, yeah, they make you, there's a fuck
You
ton.
work.
That's why I did the citizenship in the end, because you don't have to jump from any of those.
Yeah. But you,
Yeah,
but
you
so...
can just like move it. It's also it's like, you know.
Still crap. I really didn't think she meant to offend. She just wanted to say she could not lie.
No.
And all her assistants behind her just went out she's such a liability, she can't. Did you ever meet her? Oh, she was great. And she's like, she'd made so many things to wear, like, really expecting, well, actually I would have probably, but like a full-on paper crown and all sorts of things. Horns, maybe I should get some horns for Graham. Horny. No, she was a one-off who never went out of fashion, you know.
I know, yeah.
She really, given she had such a particular style, you'd think it would have gone out, but no. And she survived for so long.
It's just a head, wasn't it?
Yeah, she always was, and she was a brilliant cutter and fabrics, and she had an activist. She really wanted to have an eye to how could she make a difference.
We covered a lot of her fashion shows, and we'd speak to her after the show.
Yeah.
And you'd be arranging it in advance, and her publicist would be like, and you'll be here, and Vivian will come out and be Vivian.
Yeah.
And then Vivian will go back in again. And you're like,
Vivian will be Vivian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're like,
Yeah, when you
she's
say
like,
that, what does that mean?
well, no, it just sometimes she'd come out and you'd ask her about the collection, she'd just decide to talk about something else.
Oh,
And
yeah.
you're just like,
More
okay,
unstoppable.
fine.
Yeah, no, she wasn't. Yeah.
I was going to ask you actually, did you want to say anything about her? Because we did do a big kind of obit and tribute package to her. We do a
Yeah.
lot of fashion stuff. I don't know if you wanted to
I don't
pay
mind,
tribute
but
to
we'll
her.
see how it. Let's talk about.
Yeah. It's
We
you
use
know,
up.
you're sitting there wearing
Yeah,
an
let's sit
amazing item of.
Vivian.
But I have many
Yeah.
more questions about Nolly, to be honest.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
just thought I would.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm ready when you guys are.
Okay.
Oh, just let me see.
Have your tea, darling.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Got to wake up. I had a snooze. Did you ever snooze?
Did you have snooze? That's
Yeah.
nice. That's civilised.
I always have me snooze. What about you? You ought to have a snooze. All right.
Okay, Rudy.
Yeah.
So, Russell, can I start with you? Why did you want to tell, like, the story of Nolly, like who she was?
I've always wanted to tell this story. It's something that's fascinated me since I was 18 years old. That's when Nolly was sacked. That's when we were born then.
Yeah.
Yes, and it had always intrigued me as exactly what happened. But I ended up working in television, so I worked on soap operas, and I only became more interested. Thinking, well, what happened there? What happened? Then I started speaking to people there at the time, and the reasons for her sacking became more mysterious. And also, I then discovered the absolute reason why she was sacked, which no one had ever quite pieced together before. And I thought, oh, I've got a story.
I love it. I love that people are going to get to know who she is as well.
I love the fact that you were at Oxford and everybody else was doing freshers thingies, and all he was doing was watching Crossroads, trying to work out how they're going to get rid of her.
Just
It was
try.
it was that term.
In the days when the university had
Yeah.
one television,
Yeah,
television,
and you were just
and I
like-
just sat there, bagsy in it, watching.
You would have given her a good ending, wouldn't you?
Oh, she did have a great ending. It was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
They wrote her out in spectacular style, but I'm not sure I would have written her out at all. That's the thing.
Yeah, you wouldn't have gotten rid of her.
Never.
No.
I wouldn't.
No.
Never.
No.
Did you watch Crossroads? Are you a soap fan at all?
Oh, I am a soap fan, but I didn't watch Crossroads that much as a child, as a young adult, as an adult. No, I was aware of it, yeah. But I wasn't a huge fan of Crossroads. Or I just didn't watch it, put it that way.
And were you fascinated by what you learnt about the way they worked on soaps? Because obviously it's completely different. Like, how many episodes were they doing a week? You know, it's a completely
Originally
different
we
way.
did, it was about 4, now I'm taking it personally, it's about 4 episodes a week.
They originally did 5 episodes. a
5
week,
episodes.
And then, because it wasn't the best show in the world, bless
Yes.
them, it kept on being cut down, and it was 4 episodes, then it was 3 episodes, but they kept working manfully.
It was very hard work, and in fact, we made TV history because I think we were the first. I'm now again talking about like with Nolly inside, but the first TV. I think it was the first TV soap, daily. She claimed that they made history.
5
And
days a
then
week.
yes.
It took a long time for television to get back to 5-day-a-week soaps. It took many years for that to come back.
Which it meant it was a very hard working job because they work 5 days a week, often till 9 o'clock at night, barely any holidays.
The slog.
And they get the scripts Monday, Tuesday of the week before, rehearse Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday have the run through, and then record Thursday, Friday as live, although it wasn't actually live, but they had to record all in one go. Couldn't afford any mistakes, and if there was a mistake, they'd just keep it in. Not a huge amount of money went into the, so they did what they could with a little amount of money. So also, a lot has been made of like the sets that are wobbly, but that they had to take the set down every Saturday because the Golden Shot, I don't know if you remember, no, you probably don't. Well, anyway, Golden Shot was, which I used to watch, was on Sunday, so that's why it was a bit wobbly, because it wasn't permanent.
That is excellent fact to learn. I learnt so many facts in this. I loved that the phone thing was just amazing, that they'd phone up about that. That was great. Why Helena for this role?
Yeah, why me?
Why? Why did I think of a matriarchal power mad?
Power mad.
I should be so
Or
lucky.
see.
I'd probably send every script I've ever written to Helena Bonham Carter.
Oh, please
It
do,
doesn't get
for
past.
fuck's
Doesn't
sake.
get past your agent. And like for once we got through. Listen, someone suggested. Our producer Nicola said, "Let's try Helena Bonham Carter," and I laughed gaily and thought, "Well, that'll never happen."
You shouldn't.
No, it's true though. It's like it seemed impossible, and here we are, and he did it, and I could not
Well, it was
be
instant. It was
more
like
grateful.
Nikki just. Are you absolutely kidding me? I'm the one who's grateful. You wrote gold. I mean, really, honestly, it was like, if not the best part I've ever been given, but maybe the second best part of that.
You're back to Alice in Wonderland again, aren't you?
No, really. What I mean, also for me, one shouldn't be apologetic about one's age, but one is always apologising about things still working at in one's 50s as an actor, But in fact, it should be the other way around. It should be like one gets better as a human. You're more interesting, and I certainly know how to do it better than I did when I was young. But it was literally, I was thinking, how lucky I've got the best part ever in my mid-50s.
I couldn't believe it when you said yes.
No, I was just
happy
instant
days,
too.
happy days.
And it was that thing of falling in love. You read the first page and go like, oh my God, this is hilarious and extraordinary. And it just kept on getting better. I couldn't believe it. It was a gift.
Because she's like an unapologetic person, isn't she? She's just, and I love that. I think, one of those people that you can learn from in a way, because they are just totally themselves in a way. So, does that make it easier or harder to play when someone is like?
Well, it's there on the page, so this is all about you pretend. I think at the beginning, I remember thinking, oh God, because I am quite apologetic as a person, and I'm not necessarily. I talk very quickly, I ramble, I swallow words. My energy is actually quite introverted, I would say, but then I meet a character and then it works. So it was a lot of finding her. And then it's great because then you have the chance, selfishly, just as a person, quite apart from earning a living, sometimes I just want to be the person because I know hopefully they'll just rub off a bit, on me, and I'll get a residue of Nolly. And certainly her having certain boundaries and not being afraid to say how it is, and very helpful. And she's great fun to be that direct. It's always great having someone who doesn't hide.
And Russell, would you say, in today's terms, people also, they talk about being cancelled and stuff like that. Would you say that in today's terms she was cancelled, or?
I don't know if Nolly was cancelled exactly, because that's almost slightly more complicated, but I think she was forgotten. I think she was discarded and forgotten, and quite brutally, which can happen to actors full stop. Who'd be an actor? It's such a difficult job, it's such a delicate job. But considering she was a star, she was axed very brutally and astonishingly publicly. It was such a public axing that I don't think would happen to a man. I've got to be honest. I don't think they would have treated a man like that. I am not even sure it would happen today. Of course, all sorts of nonsense happens today. But that's why it resonated through the years for me, and that's why I'm so glad I've had this chance to come back. We've kind of brought her back to life. It's interesting, Nolly did not have a husband. She had no children. She had no brothers or sisters. So she's not left a legacy behind. There's been no one to carry on the memory. So I hope this can be part of her legacy, and a new generation can watch her and applaud her and say, well done, Nolly, well done.
And also, if you are a soap actor, unfortunately, if you're axed, as she says herself in it, there's no light, no one's going to employ me. I mean, I'm just sort of, I'm in the public imagination as Meg Mortimer. There is no other part I can play. And she did obviously go on to do something on stage.
Because it was a different age as well. Now, television's changed now. Sarah Lancashire leaves Coronation Street, goes on to become our greatest star, and Catherine Kelly, people like that. It didn't happen then. It didn't happen in the early 80s. Once you left a soap, you were gone, you were vanished. And that's what happened to her.
Yeah, and also with soaps, I mean, you show it in the series, the way that people are, appointment TV, watching it every night at 7 o'clock, having these people in their lounge and part of their life, they do become really connected to that person. So I imagine that's another reason why it's much harder to go and play someone else, because they're that person. But did you come across kind of, I mean, you're one yourself, like soap fans? Did they help you with this?
Oh, not but I didn't. You know, I'm such a soap fan. I didn't need much help from other soap fans. Get out of my way. I know what I'm talking about here. And it does help. I think that I've actually worked with them. I kind of know the behind the scenes mechanics, and I love that. And I find that great fun to put on screen. And I think people do. I think people like knowing how things are made these days. But no, the actual mechanics of a soap. I've done a lot of those jobs. I've written those stories. I've written those characters out. Even I can point to people who has got sacked because I said this character's gone as far as it can possibly go. But I'd like to think when we did that, we did it nicely, better than it was handled with Noele Gordon. So.
Well, you've got love and enthusiasm for things, which I love. You've not been, which is not totally English, to declare your enthusiasm.
Welsh love, see?
Yeah, you
Miss
see.
You don't know English. Welsh.
Yeah, you're Welsh.
Full of passion.
Passion, exactly. We need more of you. Could you just spread it?
Okay. What a thing to say to me.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's
Okay.
just, come on. Carry on spreading it.
I wanted to ask you both, what was your kind of favourite fact that you learnt, either about soap making or about Nolly, or, you know, because there's so many really bonkers bits in it that are just...
I think my favourite fact that we discovered is that in the early days of the programme, it would go out as live. And if a programme was running under, they would literally make the telephone ring, and it was Noele Gordon's job to pick up the phone and say hello and improvise. And the floor manager would tell her a minute, give us a minute, and she'd talk on the phone for a minute.
Non-stop.
I mean,
that was her talent.
Astonishing. That is astonishing.
And she knew how to fill time.
And she could do it. Well done. Well done. What a mistress of her craft. I mean, amazing.
Absolutely. And she knew how to fill a certain amount of time, absolutely proficiently. I think in her head too, she knew every episode was 19.5 minutes, and she would absolutely fill. And they should do a compilation of her filling in. Most of the time she was saying, yes, we're near Stratford, up the A1, not the A1, and then all the directions. I mean, it's absolutely hilarious. And saying it with real certainty, and you wouldn't, I don't think there was one moment, I think, in 19 years, other people fluffed, but Noele never fluffed. And she could fill. I mean, she did actually have her own television lunchbox, daily, what do you call it, chat show. Yeah. She was a presenter. She knew how to talk. I have a feeling that in a way she talked non-stop, and that's why they actually sacked her. They just to stop her talking. Oh dear. But, there were so many great facts because, I mean, I think the plot twists, it's so funny because they said the essence of this is realism, but then they had bonkers plot lines and how people died were hilarious. And even the fact that they were really properly considering killing Noele off with an airplane landing on her head, you know.
Yes.
So
there's a very famous story where Meg's husband Hugh died because he was held hostage in the outback in a ranch, and the police stormed the ranch. But while they were storming the front of the ranch, Hugh decided to climb out the window at the back and had a heart attack in doing so. And all of that happened on the phone. You didn't see a second of it. Noele simply took the phone call where all of that was described to her, and she then passed that on. And I can remember, I must have been about 11 years old, and I remember watching that thinking, oh, that's so bad, that's marvellous. I kind of fell in love with it in those moments. You fall in love with the faults. That's what you fall in love with.
But also you can get that, convert immediately into somebody going, did you know what happened?
Look at me.
You know.
All these years later, I remember, I might have read Bleak House a couple of years later, can't remember that. What happens in that?
No. He fell out of...
Exactly.
Yeah, kidnapped from Australia and fell out of a window.
Brilliant.
I had a heart attack climbing out of the window. What can I say? Yeah.
I love the fact that you were 11 as well, though, and you still knew that. Yeah, that's
I still knew.
Yeah,
I still
knew that was bad.
That's ropey.
Mr. Writer,
set your standards.
mini writer.
It decides what your standards are at a very young age.
Yeah, that's right.
I absolutely
it's a
love
suspension of disbelief.
So you should watch anything, I tell you. You learn something of anything. Always.
I love it. I've watched all 3 episodes. I'm just saying, I absolutely love it. I think it's great, and I'm really glad that people will get to know her as well because.
Me too. That's what I thought. And I thought, what a gallant lady.
Gallant. That's a lovely word.
Gallant and gutsy.
And you're right as well about women working only up until a certain age, and if they don't have a family and stuff like the way she was kind of just treated. Yeah.
There are movements amongst female actors about employment. There's a very famous movement at the moment about being employed over 45, and it's still the case. Absolutely.
Just when we're in our prime. not good enough.
It's very unfair. I think I've got 1 minute left now. Can I ask you about Vivienne Westwood? Is that okay?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So obviously you're.
I'm a big fan of Vivienne.
Yeah, modelling her clothes.
I
now.
am wearing her. I'm flying the flag. I will fly the flag.
Right.
I thought I might do it the whole of this year, but I can't actually fit into all. So a lot of the things are like this. I mean, I've got so many clothes of her. There was a point when I just wore Vivienne, and she was. I just love her because she created everything with imagination, but also the classic dress that she'd do was just like, you didn't have to dye it, you didn't have to, you just put this thing on and it rearranged your body in the right places, gave you a waist, gave you the boobs, gave you the shape, and also she wasn't frightened of a woman shape, but it was always slightly off. She had a huge amount of humour. And I loved just dressing up in her vision. She was brilliant. I'm wearing this is great, which is like, it's meant to be a broken, already broken pearl thing. And then this is a classic. And then I've got a skirt to go with it. I've got a whole wardrobe, and I should just come out and celebrate. And I was so sad, because I think 81's too young these days. And I'm sure, she was still working. So she gave so many things to different people. She was brilliant. And again, not unlike Nolly in the sense that she couldn't hide what she was feeling. And she also wanted to really leave the world a better place, which I think she undoubtedly has in many, many ways.
Perfect, thank you very much. That's great. Yeah, no, that is something she definitely has in common with her as well, isn't it? More.
Oh, she was a northerner who was just wouldn't stand truck. I had a really rough time, not on, are we?
I can switch off.
Yeah,
if you want.
switch off. Yeah, she did have a rough time with